Welcome to Feisty Chess. I have black, and I'm going to play e4. Let's go with our Alekhine 6. I'm playing v6 105 on Lee Chess. He's gone with the main line e5, and now we want to get d6 in as soon as we can. Okay, I'm going to take. And now, if I recall correctly, the move is c6, strangely enough. And should this knight be kicked, we can come back to c7. Honestly, I just remember this move. I'm not remembering the reasons why. I think the knight might come to b4 in some cases if it needs to move from d5. Hope everyone had a great Christmas. I am in a different location here on a Christmas trip myself. Okay. Well, I don't think that's any threat to our knight, so let's get our bishop out. And then we can play e6. Or knight d7. Knight d7 might be good now. But the lines I know involve the bishop coming out first, so let's do that. That way the knight's not blocking any path of the bishop. Okay, now e6 makes a bunch of sense. I can still play knight d7. He might play g5, g4 I should say, in which case I'll have to go bishop g6 and give up my bishop for the knight, but I'll get an open rook. So I might want to be thinking about castling queenside here, as long as that sequence is a possibility. But now he's allowing knight d7. c3 seems a strange move. Maybe he's just concerned about d4, since his queen no longer guards it. But I would love to trade off this knight, which is his best piece. And now he doesn't have any options other than to really do so. I mean, he could go to knight g4. Actually, knight g4 might be good. Or you could try this. Okay. This can't be bad. I like queen f6. He's got the bishop pair, but I'll have a more activated army here. Now, do I want to take... Do I want to keep queens on or off at this point? Well, it's up to him to trade queens if I take with the queen. E takes, puts my knight in a pin. Oh, actually, I need to take with the queen. Because if E takes, then bishop takes check. And I'm losing 2 pawns here. So I have to take with the queen. But I'm happy in this ending. Closer to being developed than white. I could play knight here and keep the queens on. I can just develop. Actually, that knight is kind of in the way of his development anyway. So I'll just play bishop. I think d6 looks better. Yeah. And I'll make him trade queens. So he has to spend another move to develop this bishop. I'm not going to give him that move for free. Queen takes, knight takes, and then I don't have a development advantage anymore. And if he just leaves that knight, I'll play something like rook f8 and maybe slide the king back to g8. I don't know. Maybe I want my king closer. Him taking would also relieve me of this pawn weakness on e6. He could just castle. Castle. And then, no. Castle, maybe knight f4 is worth considering. Okay. He was maybe concerned about things like knight f4. This is fine, however. Now I can get a rook check in. Which rook wants to check on the e-file? I think the king's rook does. Let's do it. And my king can come back to the 8th rank without discoordinating my rooks on f8. Good. Yeah, I think g5 is a good move here. I've got a good grip on this game. Because knight to g5 would have been one thing I'd be concerned about. I think it's time to double rooks. Maybe playing g5 worthwhile? Probably not. He can always get a rook to e8, to e1. That's not a problem for him. Let's break the pin on the knight and improve our king a little bit. Looks good. King now controls e5. And now our knight can come in. We can play knight f4. Wanting to induce a trade of knights here so he doesn't have the bishop pair anymore. Is my knight going to be misplaced on b6? The thing about king on f6 is maybe a knight wanted to go there. This knight could also come via f8 to g6. Let's do this. Let's hit that bishop and see what he does. I've got better king position, but white's got that bishop pair. I don't think he can hang on to the bishop pair, though. Okay. Ooh, I can play bishop here and he can't take. This actually sets up a nice threat. So let's propose this trade of bishops. He can't take because I recapture with a knight and win this bishop. So take on f4, knight f4 is a check, winning that d3 bishop. But I'm also threatening if he just plays, say, a rook to the e-file, I'm going to take here and then make that same fork. And it looks like that's what we're going to get. He just hang that? Yeah, I'm just vacating this square, removing the defender of f4. And now this will just win a piece. I'm hitting b2 right now. I was surprised that works against a 2200 rated opponent. Relatively simple tactic, hanging piece. I mean, I noticed that if I had played knight here at this point, well, he has to take. It's obvious that he would be forced to take. And then I'd have won the bishop pair back, but why do that when you can... This also forces the bishops off the board, but it gives him an easier chance to go wrong. Okay. Recapture here. So he's also given us the e-file. Probably is looking at e5 for that knight. What's the way to do this? I'll just take this pawn. Weaken c3. I'll let him have a knight on e5. I don't see much that it can do. In fact, I can challenge it immediately. And it's not really going anywhere useful, is it? I want to bring this back. Can come back to d3. Might as well loosen up that pawn. So if he takes back with a pawn, he's going to have an isolated pawn instead. Yeah, my king is just perfectly placed here. We'll take that. We've got a nice protected, connected passer here. If his knight goes to d3, it hangs to a rook check on e3. So That knight is coming off the board. I suppose he can come here. Okay, just take that. And we're happy to take this too. And that's simple. All right. Let us look at the game. Pretty quick one. Picked up the Alekhine Defense maybe about a year ago. I still play e5 a lot of the time, but it's nice to have a secondary option against e4. This is actually a strong line against the Alekhines to take with the knight. I forget the name of it. I don't have opening book right now. Error status. Interesting. Let's see what the computer thinks. Is this called the classical way to meet the Alekhine? I'm not sure. Anyway, I know c6 is a move that's recommended by a course I took on the Alekhine. Just offering more support to that knight, opening up this check, and freeing up this square for the knight. In some lines, the knight comes back to c7, strange enough. But yeah, the idea is you're just going to get that bishop out, play this when you need to. Actually, the computer doesn't like bishop f5. It likes knight d7 right away. But it also, it likes queen f3. It says I should go bishop e6 now. It does recommend this knight f7 line. Okay, queen f6, breaking the pin. It does like knight g2. Now g6 wants me to put the bishop on g7, or I don't know. I think bishop e6 makes a lot of sense, especially if he's going to have a knight on f3 coming into e5. I have two pieces guarding e5 now. But he goes for this. Bishop b3 is a better idea. But he doesn't seem like he's getting anywhere there. Bishop b3, and then, well, anyway, he went for the capture. Now black has a small advantage. f6. So, yeah, it still likes knight f6 here. And the knight can look really good on e4. Yeah, that might be the way to do it. But I just wanted to break the pin with king f6. That was a mistake according to the computer. I wonder if, yeah, the computer also liked g5 first, not allowing h4. I thought this improved my king and also broke the pin on the knight. I mean, it worked out for me in the game, but it may not have been best. Knight f6, and then with the idea of knight e5 or knight e4 or knight g4 would be good too. Ooh, this was a real mistake. I mean, it looks intuitive. You're kind of castling by hand and connecting your rooks. Okay. Apparently it's important for white to play h4 here and for black to play g5. I had considered g5, but looked kind of gratuitous at the time. Okay, now it does like bishop f4, like I played. And it says rook h to d1. Yeah, you need to guard that bishop with a rook. The idea of bringing the rook to d1 would be after bishop take, rook can take, and now I can land this fork, but after he moves the king, the bishop is guarded by the rook. So we can show all that here. Capture, now he takes with the rook. King g3, and there we go. Still likes black. Probably because I have the D file, at least for the moment. Instead, he just got the rook on the open file. Kind of an automatic move, not recognizing the tactics in the position. And I'm telling you guys, even at the well, Lee chess is kind of inflated, but even at this level, 2200 rapid rating, just comes down to tactics. Even simple two movers like this. A lot of the games I'll lose are still based on just these basic blunders. And here it was pretty mundane. So we traded off everything, and I even grabbed an extra pawn at the end. So I'm up a knight and 2 pawns here. And if he moves this rook somewhere, other than the passive rook c1, then I'm just going to pick up that pawn next move. So he's got to, if he wants to keep the rooks, he's got to go rook c1. Then I've got this, and if he tries to save this pawn, well, that wouldn't even save the pawn, would it? Save it like that. I've got a check here, and if he tries to hold the pawn, it's trouble in River City. There's mate ideas coming here with this check, and then mate here. Anyway, yeah, hopeless for white. Hopeless for white. So anyway, that was a nice quick one. Finish off my day here. Stay feisty and take it easy, guys.